Croaker, one who is always foretelling some accident or misfortune, an allusion to the croaking of a raven. Supposed ominous. Croakenshire, Northumberland, from the particular croaking, the pronunciation of people from that county, especially from Newcastle and Morpeth, where they are said to be born with a burr in their throats which prevents their pronouncing the letter R. Croakers. Forestallers called also kidders and tranters. Crocodile tears, the tears of a hypocrite. Crocodiles, they are fabulously reported to shed tears over their prey before they devour it. Crocus or Crocus metallirum, a nickname for a surgeon of the army and navy. Croaker, a groat or fourpence. Crone, an old ewe whose teeth are worn out, figuratively a toothless old beldam. Crony, an intimate companion, a comrade, also a confederate in a robbery. Crook, sixpence. Crookback, sixpence for a reason of his name, see cripple. Crook your elbow, to crook one's elbow and wish it may never come straight, if the fact then affirmed is not true, according to the casuists of Bow Street, and St. Gilles adds great weight and efficacy to an oath. Efficacy to an oath. Crookshanks, a nickname for a man with brandy legs. He buys his boots in Crooked Lane. His stockings in bandy-legged walk. His legs grew in the night, therefore could not see the grow straight. Jeering saying for men with crooked legs. Crop, a nickname for a Presbyterian from their cropping their hair, which they trimmed close to the baldish, place as a guide on their heads. Hence, when they were likewise called roundheads, see roundheads. Crop, to be knocked down for a crop, to be condemned, to be hanged, cropped, hanged. Cropping drums, drummers of the Foot Guards or Chelsea Hospital who find out weddings and beat a point, or war to serenade the new married couple and thereby obtain money. Croppen, the tail, the croppen of the roten, the tail of the cart, croppen ken, necessary house, cunt. Crop sickness in the stomach arising from drunkenness. Cross, to come home by weeping cross, to repent at the conclusion. Cross, dishonest, a cross cove, any person who lives by stealing or in a dishonest manner. Crossbite, one who combines with a sharper to draw in a friend. Also a counteract or disappointment. Cunt, this is peculiarly used to signify entrapping a man so as to attain money in which the wife, real or supposed, conspires with the husband. Cross buttock, a particular lock or fall in the Brogtonian art which, as Mr. Fielding observes, conveyed more pleasant sensations to the spectators than the patient. Cross patch, a peevish boy or girl, or rather an asocial, ill-tempered man or woman. To crow, to brag, boast, or triumph. To crow over anyone, to keep him in subjection, an image drawn from a cock who crows over a vanquished enemy. To pluck a crow, to reprove anyone for a fault committed, to settle a dispute. To strut like a crow in a gutter, to walk proudly, or with an air of consequence. Crowd, a fiddle, probably from the crwth, the Welsh name from that instrument. Crowdero, a fiddler. Crowdy, oatmeal and water or milk, a mess much eaten in the north. Crowfair, a visitation of the clergy, see review of the black cuirasses. Crown Office, the head, I fired into her keel upwards, my eyes and limbs jack, the Crown Office was full, whatever that says, SKD. S blank blank K blank D. Soaked. I soaked a woman with her arse upwards. She was so drunk that her head laid on the ground. Cruisers, beggars, or highway spies who traverse the road to give intelligence of a booty, also rogues ready to snap up any booty that may offer, like privateers or pirates on a cruise. Crummy, fat, fleshy, a fine crummy dame, a fat woman. He has picked up his crumbs finally of late. He has grown very fat or rich of late. Crump, one who helps solicitors to affidavit men or false witnesses. I wish you had Mrs. Crump, a Gloucestershire saying in answer to a wish for anything, implying you must not expect any assistance from the speaker. It is said to have originated from the following incident. One Mrs. Crump, the wife of a substantial farmer, Dining with the old lady Coventry, who was extremely deaf, said to one of the footmen waiting at table, "I wish I had a draught of small beer," her modesty not permitting her to desire so fine a gentleman to bring it. The fellow, conscious that his mistress could not hear either the request or answer, replied, without moving, "I wish you had Mrs. Crump." These wishes being again repeated by both parties, Mrs. Crump got up from the table to fetch it herself, and being asked by my lady where she was going, related what had passed. The story being told abroad, the expression became proverbial. Crump-backed, humpbacked. Crusty beau, one that uses paint and cosmetics to obtain a fine complexion. Crusty fellow, a surly fellow. Cub, an unlinked cub. An unformed, ill-educated young man, a young nobleman or gentleman on his travels. An allusion to the story of the bear, said to bring its cubs into form by licking, also a new gamester. Cuckold, the husband of an incontinent wife. Cuckolds, however, are Christians, as we learn by the following story. An old woman, hearing a man call his dog cuckold, reproved him sharply, saying, "Sirrah, are you not ashamed to call a dog by a Christian name? To cuckold the parson to bed with one's wife before she has been churched." Cucumbers, tailors, who are jocularly said to be subsist during the summer, chiefly on cucumbers. Cuff, an old man. To cuff Jonas, said of one who is knock-kneed, or one who beats his sides to keep himself warm in frosty weather, also called also beating the booby. Cuffin, a man. Cull, a man, honest or otherwise, a bob-cull, a good-natured, quiet fellow. Cunt. Cullability, a disposition liable to be cheated, an unsuspecting nature, open to imposition. Cully, a fog or fool, also a dupe to women, from the Italian word coglion, a blockhead. Culp, a kick or blow, from the words mea culpa, being that part of the popish liturgy at which the people beat their breasts, or, as the vulgar term is, thump their craws. Cundum, the dried gut of a sheep, worn by men in the act of coition to prevent venereal infection, said to have been invented by one Colonel Cundum. These machines were long prepared and sold by a matron of the name of Phillips at the Green Canister, in Half Moon Street in the Strand. That good lady, having acquired a fortune, retired from business, but learning that the town was not well served by her successors, she, out of patriotic zeal for the public welfare, returned to her occupation, of which she gave notice by divers handbill in circulation in the year 1776, also a false scabbard over a sword, and the oilskin case for holding the colours of a regiment. Cunningham, a punning appellation for a simple fellow. Cunning man, a cheat who pretends by his skill in astrology to assist persons in recovering stolen goods, and also to tell them their fortunes, when, how often, and to whom they shall be married, likewise answers all lawful questions both by sea and land. This profession is frequently occupied by ladies. Cunning shaver, a sharp fellow, one that trims close, i.e. cheats ingeniously. Cunny thumbed, to double one's fist with a thumb inwards, like a woman. Cunt, I assume. The connos of the Greek and the cunnis of the Latin dictionary, a nasty name for a nasty thing, uncongmege. Cup of the creature, a cup of good liquor. Cup shot drunk. Cupboard love, pretended love to the cook or any other person for the sake of a meal. My guts cry cupboard, i.e. I am hungry. Cupid, blind Cupid, a jeering name for an ugly blind man. Cupid, the god of love, being frequently painted blind. See blind Cupid. Cur, a cut or curtailed dog. According to the forest laws, a man who had no right to the privilege of the chase was obliged to cut or law his dog, among other modes of disabling him from disturbing the game. One was by deriving him of his tail. A dog so cut was called a cut or curtailed dog, and by contraction a cur figuratively used to signify a surly fellow. Curbing law, the act of hooking goods out of windows. The curber is the thief, the curb the hook. Cunt. curas, a Chilean plaistor, a dilla chilon, a chilon plaister, applied to the parts galled by the riding. Curl, clippings of money which curls up in the operation. Cunt, curmudgeon, a covetous old fellow, derived according to some from the French term cormechant. Curry, to curry favour, to obtain the favour of a person, by be coaxing or civility, to curry anyone's hide, to beat him,